Welcome to another episode of The Lovely Podcast, where I, Leah, share stories that stir the heart and ignite the imagination. Today, we'll explore the mysterious and captivating tale of the Veiled Woman. It's a story about a fleeting yet unforgettable encounter, one that's full of secrets, longing, and the kind of connection that transcends words. In this episode, we'll dive into the enigma of a woman who seems to hold the answers to questions we never even thought to ask. So sit back, let go of the world outside, and allow yourself to get lost in a moment of pure, silent attraction. It was one of those late afternoons in Paris, when the light seemed to soften the sharp edges of the world, when the sun was slipping behind the rooftops and the streets took on a golden hue. I had been walking through the market district, trying to clear my mind after a long week. But the moment I stepped into that little cafe tucked in the corner of a quiet street, I knew my day was about to change. At first, I didn't see her. I was too absorbed in finding the perfect table, the one by the window where the light danced across the floor. But as I sat down, I noticed her. She was sitting at the far end of the cafe, her presence almost ethereal, as if the world had slowed around her. She wore a delicate veil, a sheer piece of fabric that obscured most of her face, but not enough to hide the intensity in her eyes. They were dark, unreadable, but filled with something that immediately drew me in. I couldn't look away. There was something captivating about the way she sat, poised and calm, as though she were waiting for something, or someone. There was an air of mystery about her that intrigued me, and soon, without realizing it, I found myself walking towards her. She glanced up as I approached, and the moment our eyes met, something shifted. She didn't smile, not in the way most people would, but her eyes softened ever so slightly, acknowledging my presence without saying a word. It was a silent invitation, and I knew in that moment I couldn't leave without knowing more about her. "May I join you?" I asked, my voice a little shaky. I didn't usually approach strangers like this, but something about her made the usual hesitation fade away. She nodded, a single movement, almost imperceptible, and I sat across from her, the quiet hum of the cafe surrounding us. I noticed her hands then, small, delicate, with fingers that seemed to move with purpose, even when still. She took a sip from her cup, her eyes never leaving mine, and I felt the weight of her gaze, intense and curious. We didn't speak for a while, and that silence became something between us, charged and thick. There was a tension in the air that neither of us acknowledged with words, but it was there, palpable, undeniable. Finally, she broke the silence, her voice low and soft, like the whisper of wind through a closed window. "Do you believe in secrets?" she asked, her words lingering in the space between us. I wasn't sure how to answer. Of course, I believed in secrets. We all have them, don't we? But this wasn't about just any secret. It felt as though she was offering me a glimpse into something far deeper. "I think everyone has a secret," I replied slowly, unsure where this conversation was leading, yet eager to find out. She tilted her head, studying me. "What's yours, I wonder?" she asked, her voice carrying that same hypnotic cadence. I wasn't sure how to respond. I had secrets, of course, but this felt different. It felt like she was asking for something more than just a casual exchange, something intimate, personal, almost forbidden. "I don't know," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Maybe my secret is that I'm searching for something I can't name." Her lips curled into a faint smile, barely there, but it was enough to make my heart race. She leaned closer, her veil shifting slightly, and in that brief moment, I saw the curve of her cheek, the faintest outline of her lips, and I felt the magnetic pull between us grow stronger. She didn't need to speak, not yet, to communicate everything that was unfolding. "You're not alone in that," she said softly, her breath warm against my skin. "We all search for something. Sometimes we find it, sometimes we don't." I wasn't sure what it was she was offering, but I knew I couldn't leave without understanding it. Something about her quiet strength, her mystery, the way she made me feel like I was the only one in the room, made me want to stay. As the conversation continued, we talked of art, of desire, of things we never said out loud but both understood. She was an enigma, a puzzle I couldn't solve, and the more I tried to understand her, the more I realized I wasn't supposed to. She was a reminder that some things, some people, are meant to be felt, not understood. Before I left, she stood up, and the motion of her standing was graceful, almost like a slow dance. She placed a delicate hand on mine, the touch light, yet sending a shiver of recognition through me. "Thank you for finding me," she whispered, her voice like a dream. And then, as quietly as she had appeared, she was gone, leaving only the faintest trace of her presence. I never saw her again, but her words lingered with me. She had shown me that, sometimes, the most meaningful encounters don't come with answers, but with the understanding that the journey itself is enough. What do you think? Have you ever encountered someone who left you feeling like there was more? Something unspoken between you? In those moments, there's no need for words. It's the silence, the glances, the touches that speak louder than anything we could say out loud. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you had a moment that felt like a secret waiting to be unlocked? Leave a comment below and share your story with me. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Lovely Podcast. Until next time, remember that some mysteries are meant to be felt, not solved.